What's going on, everybody? It's Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord, here for the always anticipated, never duplicated, amazing Lumberjack Landlord product reviews. Again, we only talk to you guys about products we actually use in our 135 rental units. So you guys have heard me talk about, easy for me to say, have heard me talk about on the last couple of weeks, how we actually discovered a leak in an oil tank. Normally, that would be something that would send chills down my spine. However, with the few tanks that we still have left deployed in these properties that we have in the northern part of the US, where it's really cold, and so we need that home heating oil, we actually have preventative maintenance. So we actually check the tanks, and we have a catch system underneath them. But the most important thing is that's nice to have, but it doesn't really handle an active issue or an active leak ongoing. And I can tell you, draining a tank is literally extremely expensive. A tank can be $1,000, $1,500. It can be another $1,000 to $1,500 of install. It can be a week or 2 weeks time to even get them since everything has happened with the pandemic. So it is absolutely imperative that you have something that can help you bridge the gap. That's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. If you have oil tanks, if you have water tanks, if you have things that might possibly leak, these two things are absolute in the moment emergency lifesavers. Now, what I will tell you is obviously read the instructions, obviously only use it as it's directed, but it is directed in these ways that I used it. So without further ado, I'm going to cover two products that are absolutely 1000% must-haves. They are about 35 bucks combined, and having them in your tool belt or having them readily accessible to you in these locations where you might have a leak in a water tank or a leak in an oil tank or something to that end, I cannot begin to tell you how critically important this is. It's the least expensive insurance policy you will ever have. Look up how much an oil spill in a basement costs. Look up the fact that people can spend $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 cleaning that up, the years that it's then monitored afterwards. It can be an absolute nightmare. So while there's some of the easy things that are just normal catch basins and things like that underneath these oil tanks, these are the things I'm going to show you that can actually help temporarily stop that from leaking. So the first thing that I have for you is this is actually something made by, it's called Magnepatch. It's made by Rectorseal. And this Magnepatch is absolutely spectacular. This is an awesome product. So these are rare earth magnets. This right here is a stopper that compresses. These magnets are so strong that you can actually literally find where it's dripping in the tank, stick this up against the tank, and it will stop the leak. These things are absolutely awesome. What's really cool is this metal piece is actually replaceable. You can actually unscrew this with the metal magnet piece, and you can actually replace this middle piece once it's already been used on a given tank. I cannot begin to tell you how relieved I was that we knew that these existed, that we had them. I actually have a link in the description of this video. They're 26 bucks. That's it. 26 bucks. You will not find a less expensive insurance policy. These can work on, again, any type of metal tank that has liquid inside it. Obviously, some people have already said, well, what about propane? Yeah, okay, obviously, that's a liquid gas that turns into an aerosol, so it's not going to stop that. But oil, water, all sorts of different other types of chemicals and products in tanks. But this is the one. This absolutely saved my bacon, because you know what? I made calls to our normal guys. They were out on job sites. They couldn't get over there. And I literally saw it as I was speaking. I was literally watching this thing dripping into the pan that we had set up. Guys, we're absolutely worth its weight in gold. Again, the way that you can do this is it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It's a matter of just having one on hand. You can literally put this up to where the drip is. This piece compresses in and it won't leak past this. This will hold it in place. Here's what I can tell you. We are in the process of having these tanks taken out. The problem is no one could do it in any short amount of time. It was a massive project. So because of that, this has actually big time saved our bacon. Now we monitor it and we check it every day because we want to make sure that this has still stayed intact and stayed in good position. And it has. It's literally reduced the drip to almost absolutely nothing, but something that, again, we can catch in that catch basin. This has been an absolute lifesaver, 25 bucks. Again, this is what the patch looks like, made by Rectorseal. It's called the Magnepatch. Rare earth magnets here with this stopper. Again, find out where the leak is, push up against, and this will stick there. These rare earth magnets will actually keep that stuck to the bottom of that tank. Now, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's a leak in a seam on the bottom of a tank, or it's just a weak spot that might have gotten a ding at one time in the bottom of a tank. So this will work pretty well. The challenge that you have is sometimes it leaks in like an edge where you have a seam. This thing will not work in that seam, where you have like a little lip come out from the actual tank. So that's where this awesome product comes into play, called Tank Weld. It's made by JB Weld. Now, when you're using this stuff, you take it out of the canister, you cut off your piece. Please have gloves on. Don't do this barehanded. You roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. You make it malleable, and then you actually put it in place. You clean off the space off as best as you can. That way you know that this is not going to stick to grime or dirt or anything that's not going to make it stick as well as it possibly can. Again, these are emergency measures, because you can't get the guy there fast enough. And what are you going to do on something that's leaking that might not have any feed to it, i.e. a supply line? You're stuck. You got to find a way to fix it. So really inexpensive. These are about 10 or 11 bucks. It's for an entire tube. These, again, the Rectorseals, they're about 25 bucks. So for $35, you can have one of the best insurance policies you will ever get. If you are a self-managing landlord, if you are somebody that might have a property management company, but your tenants still contact you because you're local, I cannot begin to tell you how important it is to have something like this at your fingertips. Think about it. Having to go to the store and maybe buy one, and maybe they have it and maybe they don't. I can tell you multiple times, multiple stores around me ran out of this stuff. When we get down to 2 tubes, we actually go buy 2 more tubes. So when we get down to 2 tubes, we actually went looking for it. We went to 4 stores. 4 stores didn't have it. We had to order it online. Thank God we were able to order it online, but still it took almost 3 or 4 days to get here. Again, I cannot begin to describe to you guys enough the Flex Seal Tank Weld product and the Magnepatch. Again, 35 bucks between the 2 of them. I have already done the shopping. I've got Amazon links because you know what? They got it faster to me than any of the big box stores around me were going to get it. And specialty shops as well. So I've got links in the description. They're ready for you guys. You can literally click on the link and buy one or buy the pair. Again, I cannot tell you enough. This is fantastic for tanks and for flat spots. This is absolutely the one that's meant for the edges and seams and things like that. Fantastic product. But again, I would recommend, if you are a landlord and you are anywhere locally near your properties or you self-manage, you absolutely should have at least one of each of these just in case. So as I always tell you, we try and create great content for you. These are products that we both deploy in the field. Thank God that we had them ready. I honestly didn't even think about it. I was like, you know what? I can't believe I didn't bring this up as an important product for people to have. But these are things that we have as staples in our setups, because we need to know that if we end up with an issue with a leaking tank somewhere, we know that we can handle it within an hour and thus preventing any major mess. This is critical when we're dealing with material like that. So As I always say, we try and create great content for you. Please make sure you check out the links, check those things out, and make sure that if you are a self-managing landlord or somebody that has a property manager, but you're local to your properties, I promise you, the last thing you'd ever want to do is get one of those phone calls and not have these on hand. You can go right to the job. You can either have them there on site at your property, number one, or number two, I actually have them in my emergency go bag. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. And we do have more amazing content coming out this week with a sheetrock job we're doing. Is a really new product that we just found that honestly just completely changed the game for us in this new sheetrock job we just did. So thanks so much. Lumberjack Landlord signing off. And again, you guys tell me what you think. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.